It's the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today by a very special guest, Mike Murphy.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Who incidentally resides in Deepwell.
I do, for another 12 days at least.
Yeah, another 12 days. The time is a-coming.
Yeah, we're past the, we're way past the halfway point in art production, so it's usually about that time that I like, kind of gauging what the final print number is going to be, and there'll probably be another month and a half before the rest of the art's done. And yeah, just like I'm doing now with God's Fear Me, like I'll just sit down, tear through the coloring, do some pre-press work with our pre-press guy, who's usually Wyatt. He's a really good guy, whose book just launched today, so go back it.
Yeah, Eternal Armor, right?
Yeah, Eternal Armor. So yeah, like, we'll do that, and hopefully, I don't know, early summer we'll be in fulfillment on Deepwell.
Holy moly. Wow.
Yeah.
Seems like only yesterday.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah, it's such a weird feeling.
It is, man. But like it felt good to close out God's Fear Me. It feels good to be close to closing out Deepwell, and me and Stefani are just getting ready to launch Red Key. So yeah, it's just it's time for some new hotness,
Oh, jeez. You and Stefani working together. Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's going to be sweet. Ooh,
yeah, right. I'm very much looking forward to that one.
Fantastic. Yeah, freaking A. Deepwell, I'm real excited about. It's in demand right now, and by golly, you're in five-digit land.
Yeah, we are. I'm these last 12 days, I'm going to be working hard to get us to that 14K point, because that's when we unlock an additional 4-page epilogue drawn by Peter Gilmore. So,
oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, it's $1,000. I think 12 days is enough to cover that, but yeah, I'm gonna have to like set up a whole bunch of streams and really work my butt off.
Oh man, definitely. Do you have time away? Do you have enough time outside of your regular work to focus on the promotion of this?
Yeah, again, since Selena and I both work freelance, like my schedule can kind of it's malleable, I guess would be the word for it. So yeah, whatever presents itself, I'll make time for.
Gotcha. Welcome, Yotam Darkstar. Hail, guys.
Hey, Yotam. It's good to see you, man.
Hey, Patrick Furtado. Hail. How's it going? Awesome sauce. Deepwell Caliber of Death. A family drama with guns. A savage tale of the Old West starring a mysterious vigilante.
Very mysterious.
Yeah. And I can't get over this cover. This is Malin, right? John Malin?
Yeah. So that started off originally as just a print for the swag bag. And the biggest feedback that I got from pretty much, I don't want to say every backer, but a lot of our backers was, why isn't this the cover? So, we already had Preston's alternate, and I'm not too crazy about multiple alternate covers, but in this case, since it is such, a striking image, me and John talked and we worked some stuff out, and this is available as its own standalone cover. It's a second alternate cover, and when we close this campaign, it's not going to be reprinted across any other campaign. So when we do the leftovers, when we do a second printing for when Deepwell 2 launches, this isn't going to be available. So if anyone is interested, like, this is kind of your one and only chance to get it.
Oh, no kidding. Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an impressive piece. I really like it.
Yeah, it blew me away, man. I mean, again, I really do consider myself, in terms of like the like small to mid-tier creators, I consider myself one of the luckiest out there, just because I've seemed to stumble my way into working with like all these amazing artists in just like 3 projects now.
Yeah, it's a trip.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, let's watch this trailer here.
You got it.
Let me know if you don't get any audio.
Sure. I will.
Oops, I got to unmute here. It looks like. Chibi Comics.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. And thank you for all your support over these, past however many months.
Oh, hell yeah. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
What's it like? I mean, are you kind of like on this like on a high seeing your campaign cross 5 digits?
Yeah, that's always a trip, man. Again, it always comes up in conversation that the relaunch that we had to do for Samurai and Dinosaurs, when we closed that, I think it was at like 9,400 something. So we didn't even break 5 digits with that one, and to see God's Fear Me close out at over 15, and to see this close out hopefully over 14 so that we can get that stretch goal. It's really gratifying to know that there is an audience out there for what we're producing, and that they're into it. I'm eternally grateful.
Oh man, so cool. Let me do this real quick. Yeah, I really dig Westerns. I've been watching them for years.
Yeah, I mean, you lived through it with me. Like, I think finding our Western audience with this one took a while, but once we hooked people with the concept, it was a way easier sell than just, listing it as a Western. And I do too, man. I love Westerns, and I love all the different themes and storytelling stuff that you can explore in Westerns. That's kind of, it's not impossible, but it's a little bit more difficult to deal with in other genres. Like, you look at something like what's a modern Western? You look at something like Hell or High Water. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Not familiar with that. How long ago was that?
It's only a few years old. It was written by the guy that did Sicario and Wind River, and he's the showrunner on Yellowstone.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's a really, really good writer. Like, out of the new crop of Hollywood writers over the past 10 years, he's like one of my favorites. And so Hell or High Water is about these 2 brothers in modern day, and they're pulling off a series of bank robberies for reasons that I won't get into in case you ever watch it. I don't want to do spoilers. But they're pulling off these bank robberies, and it's very much set up like a modern Western in the truest sense. I mean, they're their pickup truck and all the other getaway cars they have are the equivalents of their horses. I mean, you've got the sheriff chasing after them. It's a really, really solid story, but it also has to fold in like all the modern day trappings. Like, the FBI gets involved, and you have to kind of adhere to the standards of modern society, whereas you don't have that when you're telling a classic Western story. It really is kind of this like free for all, anything goes world that existed back then.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I realize I actually haven't seen a current Western, I don't think. I think the most recent one, and this might even be old, I think it was a remake of, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's something like 410 to Zuma or Yuma.
Yeah. That was a good one. Although again, that like falls into like it's a Western. It's not like set in modern day, really. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other modern day Westerns. Like I think the modern Western trend started in the late 90s with like Copland. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, Copland, like they try to hide it, but Copland is basically a Western. Like Stallone plays the sheriff, and like, like the climax of the movie is even him walking down Main Street with his shotgun drawn. Like it's a Western, but they just don't say it's a Western.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's another good one that you should check out, man.
Yeah. I was interested in checking that out at one point. I'll have to look into it. Let me see. Yeah, this other one is pretty old too. Unforgiven.
Oh yeah. Unforgiven is the one that like turned me on to Westerns. Before that, like as a kid and as a teenager, just something about the genre didn't really click with me. And I had to watch Unforgiven in college for a film class. And yeah, man, that like that movie flipped a switch in my head, and I was like, oh, okay, like I completely understand Westerns now, and I love them.
Did you ever watch the old TV series, or older color or black and white movies or TV series like I don't know, Stagecoach, the Once Upon a Time in the West?
Right. I've caught those here and there. Like sometimes you'll put on something like Pluto when you don't want to watch like Netflix or Hulu or whatever, because they have like all those weird channels that's just everything that's syndicated from 50 years ago.
Right.
So like I'll see some of that stuff on there, and I remember it was maybe 2 or 3 months before Deepwell launched. I was in the dollar store, and they had this DVD set of all the old Lone Ranger shorts.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, and that's actually what inspired me to commission Raphael to do a Lone Ranger piece to see if he would be right for the book. And so, yeah, I sat through those that weekend, and they're very, very dated, but like those especially still hold up.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you end up using like screenshots of those shorts as reference material?
No, because what I found was, once Raphael and I came to an agreement, and he signed on to do the book, in terms of the way the world looked, it since he's from Europe, it kind of became a spaghetti Western. And that, like, in terms of look and feel and tone, like that's completely different from a traditional like American produced Western. So yeah, at that point, like the entire way that I originally envisioned the book kind of went out the window, and it became this like overblown, super dramatic, like spaghetti Western flavored story. but it still totally works, and I love the way that it looks and feels now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
It really is looking sweet, and all these different perks we have, it's going to be really nice to get this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the map of Deepwell is what I'm looking most forward to. But like he won't be starting on that till he's done with the main book, so that'll probably be that'll probably be the very last thing that he does.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm looking forward to the map too.
Yeah.
I want to see where you guys go with it.
Yeah, and I can't remember who, but like at some point last year, someone was saying, so like, are you going to do another map of Deepwell for book 2, and is it going to like reveal more about the town? And I'm like, you're getting into like spoilery stuff I can't really talk about. But yeah, I think some people out there, because there's like, just counting up in my head real quick, I want to say there's less than 10 people out there who know the twist of the book and the Grey Devil's identity, and what that means for Deepwell. So there's less than 10 out there, but I think some people are starting to figure it out before they get their hands on it.
Oh man. Were you are you thinking about either, well, in a future campaign, offering like a red mask or a red revolver?
Well, so
3D printed or something?
Yeah, well, originally what I wanted was I wanted to print up little badge pins.
Oh yeah. I think you mentioned this time.
But that would have had to have been like around 18 or 20K, and like, look, by some miracle, if that happens in 12 days, I'm happy to have that conversation. But what we're looking to do with the red key is, one of the bonuses, I think it's going to be a stretch goal, is probably going to be an actual little, PVC key.
Oh wow.
So we'll see how that goes. I'm reaching out to a couple different people who do 3D printing professionally to see like how economic I can make it, because it's just a key, and it's a simplistic enough skeleton design, and I would just have to make sure that the type of PVC that they used was red.
True, yeah.
So as long as those things line up and it's like cheap and easy enough to manufacture, like that might be one of our first stretch goals for that campaign.
So it's intended to be a literal skeleton key?
Yeah. So I mean, not completely switching gears. Like we can talk Deepwell more, but one of the things about the red key, it's not just his name, it's not just his logo on his chest with the 2 X's, the 2 keys crossing. He also has a literal red key on his belt, and that key contains, for lack of a better phrase, it contains a backup of his powers that allow him to explore the multiverse.
Oh man, that sounds cool.
Yeah. So in theory, if he was to say lose his powers or need to give his powers to someone else, he could give that key to that person and they would have his abilities.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea. I like it.
Yeah. And yeah, like again, in like 2 months when we're ready to launch Red Key, I'll be talking all about this stuff, man.
Very, very cool. Yeah, we gotta have you back on for that too.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's I'm going big with that one. Like me and Stefani are gonna have a very busy first week for that campaign. We're gonna be everywhere.
Welcome, Genuine Comics. Good looking book.
Thank you, Genuine. We hope you'll check it out, man. And thanks for the kind words.
So not to get too far on that tangent.
Yeah.
So working with Stefani, is he gonna start doing promotion with you?
I'm hoping so. we did a show together last week, and we're going to be on with Chris and Zim tomorrow on Chris's channel.
Oh wow! Right.
Yeah, Kino Subway. So I'm trying to get him out of his shell a little bit. And yeah, like as well as he did with Thomas Moria, with basically doing no promotion.
Yeah.
Really speaks to the strength of his personality and his talent.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, like, you know, in terms of the Red Key, like when we launch, we're going to make it clear, like, look, this is scheduled, you know, the estimated ship date is far enough in advance that he has time to wrap up art on that book and get it out to print and fulfillment before like we're even talking about starting production on Red Key. So like Red Key in terms of fulfillment is probably going to be like a mid to late 2022 thing. But you know, like in terms of our production schedule here at Chibi, like it's next up to bat because we still have like 2 more projects that we would like to have off the ground before the end of this year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you guys are moving. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I always said to our audience, like, look, you know, once we build up some kind of trust and reliability with you guys, you know, if you'll have us, like, we really would like to produce like 2 to 3 books a year. So, you know, we're going to be doing fulfillment probably in April on God's Fair Me. Late April, we'll launch Red Key. Early summer, we'll fulfill Deepwell. And then late summer, we're going to launch Samurai and Dinosaurs 2.
Oh, nice.
And then probably October-ish, we'll launch the God's Fear Me 2.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
So do you think, well, I was just saying one more point to that other thing I was leading to.
With Stefani?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been trying to get him on here so I could help promote his book, Thomas Moria. Sure. But part of it is like he doesn't need the help at this point because it's so successful. But the other part is he keeps telling me he's so shy.
Yeah, I know, and it's he puts himself down so much, man. Like he speaks great.
Yeah, he's great
like
on his own channel too.
I always tell him, like, I mean, dude, you speak better English than people in my family.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, look, like, just keep nudging him, and if nothing else, like, I'll try to get him to come on with you. Like, I'll come on and hang out with him.
I appreciate any help you can give.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Welcome, Not My Monkeys, Not My Circus. Hi, sirs.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, man.
Then whose circus is it?
Oh, man. Yeah, those projects coming out. Oh, man, that's going to be so cool. Sequels coming out and all that.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I've been promising people that 2021 is going to be all sequels for us. And, you know, with the exception of the Red Key, that's definitely the case. You know, Samurai and Dinosaurs 2 is something that I wasn't initially planning on doing at all.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, when I first made the book, it wasn't really designed with like sequels in mind. And then I had one idea for a sequel that I was running with for a long time, and I think about a month and a half ago, like I looked at it for the first time in maybe 6 months, and I was honest with myself. I'm like, Mike, this is a little too art house, especially if you're talking about like producing something for CG that's supposed to have like a big mainstream appeal. So I kind of scrapped that concept, and Samurai and Dinosaurs: The Hand of Death. And it's all about not a Ronin, but a feudal Japanese vigilante who's hunting down what he sees to be the group that's kind of responsible for all these events being set into motion. Without spoiling stuff for people who haven't read the first book yet.
Nice. That's pretty sweet. Do you anticipate with these sequels on having the same original team together?
Well, in the case of Samurai, no. Because me and Sergio had a falling out over CG.
Oh man.
Yeah. I can't say who it is yet because like we haven't like signed contracts and stuff. But people are going to be really happy with the artist for Samurai 2.
Ah, sweet.
And yeah, with the Gods Fear Me, like me and Kristen sat down and talked about stuff, and like he's down for the whole project. So book 2 and 3 he'll be the artist on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. The wheels are in motion.
They are, man. They are. We're hustling hard here.
Yeah. This is another good this was the original alt cover, right? The variant?
Yeah. Preston, and I've said this to him, and he's down. Like, as long as he's happy working with us, Preston is our main alternate cover artist.
Yeah. Man, the sucker's so good.
I know it's so not fair, man.
Oh man. Why has he got all the talent?
I know, but I mean, I'm grateful to him because both both what he did for Gods Fear Me and Deepwell, like these covers look incredible.
Oh my gosh, yeah, such cool guy, such a really nice guy, so down to earth. Yeah, definitely looking forward to this. I love how it in the narration it looks like old worn paper.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I still can't get over this.
It's so good.
I still crack up every time I see this, and the story behind it.
Yeah. Those color halftone separation thing that I figured out. Like I really think it kind of solidifies the identity of the book. Like when you look at it, you know that you're looking at Deepwell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a cool take to it.
Yeah.
It's a really neat effect. All the characters and the stuff in the foreground and stuff are crisp, nice and sharp.
Right.
And then the stuff in the background gives it more dramatic effect.
Yeah, and let me also say Raphael is certainly living up to the whole sex and violence aspect of the book because I just got pages back from him for like the sexy time part of the book. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, that dude can draw some good looking women.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's always a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to have some in the Western for sure.
Oh yeah, and there's a bunch in here. Like everyone's been paying attention to Myra, the femme fatale of the book, but
oh yeah, absolutely.
But there's some other characters in here that they look incredible, man. I'm so happy with how this book's turning out.
Oh, sweet. Oh man, yeah, some really good action shots.
Yeah, like Raphael is really good at composition, man. Like that first shot on page 3 with Mama Claire standing out by herself, just looking at the horizon. He's really good at setting up a shot and establishing like tone, and place. Like he gives you such a solid establishing shot that for the rest of the scene, people kind of know instinctually where everyone is standing in terms of placement.
Yeah, this is certainly a good establishing shot. Now, were these interiors before colors, or is this like a shoot where you have a flashback in time?
Well, sure. Well, it is a flashback, but the whole book is going to be full color. I just, with wrapping up God Spare Me, like I haven't gotten to much of Deepwell yet. Like I think I have the flats laid in for these 2 or 3 pages. But I have to go in and do finishes yet. So that'll probably be once we have God Spare Me off to print, and I have some while before we start fulfillment.
Nice. Not My Monkey says, I like the color palette choice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Man, that's just so cool. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah,
man. I mean, people can easily relate back to their childhood when they see these two playing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, doesn't everyone get hit with the rock in the head?
Yeah.
Hit in the head with the rock.
Yeah, it's since we have a limited page count, like these books are 32 pages as opposed to like the traditional 48.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be, when scripting it, I have to be real economical with what's in the book and why. And this not only works as a flashback to establish the family dynamic when they discovered the piece of land that will become Deepwell. It also, in a couple pages, had to set up a lot of the dynamics between the different family members. So, yeah, that's Myra whipping a rock at Thomas, her younger brother, and that relationship kind of is still what it is when they're adults.
So cool. And then we got the Gray Devil and the Cemetery of Forgotten Deeds.
Yep. So I have the first draft of this done. I'm going to go back in and make some revisions and changes. Just because there's other stuff that I've thought of since I have a bit more time to play around before we have to go to print. I'll do another draft of it, and yeah, I've got Fernando working on, I think, 4 or 5 total spot illustrations.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you once say that you're the creator and storyteller, and then you usually have your wife cross-check you and act as editor in a sense, so there's a second set of eyes on it?
Yeah, like she's usually the first person that sees whatever the finished product is, and then we have a small circle of people that'll look at it after that. Like obviously Adam, because he handles the lettering, and like maybe 3 other people. I'll let them take a look at it before we go off to press.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely helps to have several eyes on it, so they can catch what the others don't catch.
Yeah, and like I mean, in terms of writing, like when the art's done, there's nothing much we can do in terms of changing something fundamental. But if there's something in a caption or in dialogue that's not quite working, like that's easy enough to change at least.
And then you got these portraits. This is really nice. I like the solid, clean lines. And one of the things that I have to work on myself is having varying weights in the line.
Right.
And this is a good example of varying those weights.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vinny's a beast, man. I actually study Vinny's work a lot, because like by day I do freelance illustration, and yeah, like the cleanness and sharpness of his work, and the way he does varying line weights. Yeah, Vinny's a really solid artist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you haven't already, be sure and back this book, Deepwell, It's in demand, but it's shutting down. Did you say March 10th?
Yeah, March 10th. It was supposed to be March 5th, but with the crazy weather 2 weeks ago, we spent a week basically without power and internet.
Oh my gosh, that must have
Yeah.
been rough.
Oh, it broke down to about like 2.5 days without power, 4 days without internet, and a full week not being able to get out of our house because of the snow.
Man.
And yeah, it wasn't especially with a 2-year-old, it wasn't easy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Did your 2-year-old want to do nothing but play outside in the snow?
Well, yeah, and that was easy enough. But like, like by the time they're 2, they start having routines and patterns.
All right.
And in the morning, he likes to get up and he sits with me on the couch and has breakfast, and we watch like Cocomelon and Sesame Street.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And so like for like 4 days, it was like, no, buddy, like that doesn't exist right now.
Oh man, did you do people in your neighborhood happen to like have their own generators? Backup generators.
Some of the homes do. We live in. It's an apartment complex, but I always say it's really hard to describe the way these apartments look. They're basically like 2 single-level houses smushed on top of each other, and like you stack those side by side like 4 times over.
Is that what they call condos?
No,
Oh.
it's weird. I mean, technically it's an apartment, but
Oh, okay. All right.
but like, for context, like we don't even have an apartment number. Like we just have an address.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. It's basically like a little home, but it's not.
Maybe
Anyway, so
maybe closer to a duplex or something.
yeah, sure, maybe. But yeah, because this is technically an apartment complex, like there's no backup generator hooked up to all these units. So
right.
So when we were down, we were just down, man.
Man, that had to be rough. Did you lose a lot of groceries in the process?
We lost some groceries. Obviously we lost a lot of like production time. And just having to entertain a 2-year-old with no music, no TV, no ability to go anywhere, no ability to do anything. Like that was the roughest.
Good golly.
Yeah.
Not Monkey says, I'm in the UK, but my brother lives in Texas. He had a bad time with the recent weather.
Yeah, man. I try not to complain too much because what we went through is nothing compared to Texas right now.
Yeah, compared to Texas, it was cake for us in Ohio.
Right.
I mean, the worst we had was probably Monday last week, and it was like, I don't know, 6-8 inches, and then the roads were kind of slick for much of the time. And you had to be real careful and start braking early on, otherwise you'd risk sliding into the bank.
Right.
And then you'd hear the horror stories about semi trucks with their trailers swerving all over the freeway.
Right.
But outside of that, it eventually started melting away, and we got another burst of snow, which was another 4 to 6 inches, and then it slowly died down and melted away.
Yeah, and now they're talking about like flash storms coming in March for parts of the country.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, so
storms.
I don't know, man. Like, I think we've talked about this. Like, originally, Selena and I are from Chicago, and it's not the idea of snow that scares us. It's how Portlanders deal with snow that scares us. Because they don't. Like when I say that we couldn't get out of our house, people are picturing like 6 to 12 to 14 inches of snow. No, we had like 3 or 4 inches. That was it. And that 3 or 4 inches is enough to shut down the entire city.
What?
Like people don't understand that. Like, okay.
Is
Here's a story I always tell. In the first apartment that we lived in before moving out here, it snowed. This was maybe 2007, and our landlords at the time couldn't get out of their unit. And again, was only like maybe 4 inches of snow that we had back then too. They couldn't get out of their unit because the stairs were completely covered. They didn't understand. Like, I walked up to them and I'm like, "Do you have a shovel?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Do you have anything that you can dig with? Why would we do that?" And so, like, I walked back to our apartment, I got my shovel, and, like, I just dug them out of their place. And the whole time, they're just staring at me like I'm a Martian.
It's like, oh, man.
Like, Portlanders just leave the snow where it is. And they'll just, like, if it gets a layer of ice over it, they'll just, like, wobble and, like, shakily try to walk over it.
Oh, man.
They'll just plunge their feet into it. They don't believe in shoveling, and they don't understand the concept of, like, hey, this isn't a big deal. Just clear it out of the way and life can go back to normal.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, weird.
Yeah, it's really weird here, man.
Oh, gee. And like, it sounds like nobody even lays down salt, so that it gives them more grip.
No,
slipping.
No, because of like a whole bunch of like EPA issues, like salt is illegal here in Oregon.
Oh shit!
But that doesn't stop us buying bags of it and sprinkling it down over our area.
There's also these other things that I guess are more chemical based that are supposed to achieve the same effect, but I've never tried them. I don't quite trust them yet.
No, man. I'm from the Midwest. We throw down salt.
Yeah. I mean, salt's never failed me.
Yeah, no, man. Like, so yeah, like, and it happened again this year. Like, in our current place, like, we have a big parking lot because there's so many units, and the parking lot was just chaos. It was just like snow everywhere, and like, tire treads, and like people parking by the dumpsters because their cars got stuck. And I just dug the place out over the course of like 2 or 3 days, and like people would see me and just had no concept of what I was doing.
Jeez. Oh man, you literally became their hero, and you saved all of the residents.
Yeah, I mean, like, the city has enough plows to handle like the main streets and the city itself.
All right.
But like every side street just gets completely left alone. So like, even though like I dug our car out and a couple other cars, like, you try to go out onto the street and it's just like, we live on a slight incline.
All right.
There's no way to get up that because it's just like 4 solid inches of snow and like a good like half inch of ice.
Yeah, that was a problem I had trying to pull into my place. It's like I could barely get up.
Right.
And my wheels were literally spinning.
Yep. Yeah, like whenever there's a snowstorm here, someone's trying to get out because you just hear like 5 minutes of just, tires spinning.
Yeah.
And you just pray they're not going to like spin out and like smash into your car.
Yeah, it was a pain in the rear. I mentioned it before to someone, but I tried to pull into the entrance. I didn't get very far into it, at least not enough to get to the nearest open spot. So I was literally spinning my wheels. I tried dropping into low gear, tried to make some traction. Got a little further, but still didn't make much progress.
Right.
So I turned around and went back out the entrance, went down the street a little bit to the exit, went back up the exit, and got a certain distance, but it still wasn't enough to properly park.
Right.
So then I tried to do a turn. I tried to make a turn to the right and turn into a space. But it turns out I misjudged where the parking space was, and I went over the space into, I guess, what you consider the garden area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I tried to back up so I can, essentially say park. That didn't work. I couldn't back up. So I went forward and made a right turn to effectively make a little circle, a little loop.
Yeah.
But then I heard a scratching underneath my car and some rocks on the border of the flower bed.
Oh, no.
Scraped the bottom of my chassis.
Yeah.
And then I pulled out of there, went back out the exit, tried the entrance again, except I punched it. Gave myself more of a launching strip, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, I finally got to far enough to where I could wriggle myself into a parking space, and it's such a pain in the rear.
Yeah, man, it's being in a couple different spots now across the country. It's interesting seeing how people deal with different weather patterns.
Yeah.
Like how people in Nevada like lose their mind whenever they get heavy rainfall. Just it's that thing of like, and we get it here. Like people say like, oh, it never snows here, and it's like, but it snows every year. Like just conceptually, because they don't have to deal with it often, they just treat it as this thing that never affects them until it affects them.
Yeah, it's like the saying goes, as soon as you get like 5 to 10 minutes in rain, then people forget how to drive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's very much true, man.
Not My Monkeys, Not My Circus says roofs in Texas are not designed for snow.
No, they're not. I've seen a lot of that.
Welcome, Yotam Darkstar. Sign up for the Red Key.
Thank you, Yotam.
That's the pre-launch. Yeah, get in on that pre-launch, definitely. That's going to be looking book.
Thank you. Yeah, it sure is. And yeah, if you sign up early for the Red Key, you'll get an invitation card to join the Elevated, who are this super secret Illuminati-esque group of supervillains. So you will get a personal invitation to join their ranks if you sign up early.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do you get a membership card? And
well, I mean, the invitation card is basically proof of concept. So like that's your way into the meeting, so to speak.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Thanks for dropping the links here, Tom. Patrick says, "Welcome to Canada. 4 inches of snow is no big deal."
Yeah, I mean, look, again, as a Midwesterner, I'm not proud of having to say this stuff about our life in Portland over the past 2 weeks. But it is what it is. Win in Rome.
Yep. Not My Mucky says, "I want to visit Canada someday. I'd like to too. I've never been, but I've got family in Canada."
Yeah, I in the next year to year and a half, we're going to be moving, and we might be moving really close to Toronto. So we'll see.
Oh, wow.
We'll still be in the U.S., but it would be really close to Toronto.
Yeah, I think I'm several hours south of the Canada-U.S. border. I really have no excuse for not going. Let's see here. If you know, it's a good time if you know where to visit.
If you know where to visit, yes. It's true for most places.
Not My Monkeys follows arm wrestling, and Canada is the place to be. Hail Devin Larrett. Hey, welcome, Christine Venner. How's it going? Hey. How are you?
Hola, Christine.
Long time no see. Yeah. Hey. Fancy seeing you here after all this time, Not My Monkeys. Awesome sauce. If you haven't already, be sure and back Deepwell before it closes March 10th.
Yeah, please do. So yeah, we'll be shutting down in just under 12 days, and Like I was saying earlier, if you haven't yet, head over to the Red Key sign up page and get in on that, because we should be launching late April, early May on that one.
Let's catch this trailer here.
Sure.
Chewy.
Very much so. Thank you, man. And we should be doing a fresh update on this, I want to say, by like Monday or Tuesday of next week. I'm waiting to see how many more pages I can get in from Raphael, because he's currently working on like a batch of 5 of them. If I can get inks on at least like 1 or 2 of them, like I'll have a nice, juicy, could be potentially upwards of 8-page preview in this next update.
Oh, wow. Jeez. That sounds good.
Yeah, and I think at that point we're going to stop showing off pages, because, like the further in you get, the more spoilery you get.
Yep. That's right. Christine says, I'm just trolling my contributions to see if I backed or not. I can't remember, lol. Not my monkey says, I have that problem as well. Excuse me. I'm not sure if it's 100% reliable, but my cheat or shortcut for reminding myself whether I backed something is at the very top. I go to the comment section, and then if I have the opportunity to post a comment, then it means I backed it.
Gotcha.
If it's
that's smart.
Otherwise, it'll say you must be a backer to comment.
Sure.
So that's my shortcut way. Otherwise, I'd have to, like, let me see, go to profile, and then go to see, I've got 203 to scroll through.
Wow.
203 contributions. So that would take a while.
Yeah, it would.
Can't remember where in time I did it. I wish they have some way of, I wish they'd incorporate a search engine so that you can just search for, search it easily and find out what tier you backed.
Yeah.
Helpful.
It's funny, like, when this whole CG thing started about like 3 years ago now, besides the political stuff, Indiegogo was just the better choice over Kickstarter because it was more functional of a website. But now 3 years in, like, you're starting to see like some of the stuff that's not aging so good. And yeah, like search functionality is definitely one of those aspects for both backers and creators. Because like let's say, I was just talking about this on one of the last streams I was on. Like, let's say someone writes to you and they have a problem with something, they need a refund or whatever. If that person just writes in and says, I want a refund, the email that you'd get doesn't say what campaign they're attached to.
Oh.
So if you have more than one, even if you have the backer number, if you have more than one campaign, like however many campaigns you have, you just have to like go through all those backers looking for the name and number to match up.
Oh my gosh, that's, ooh, shoot.
Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely like search functionality stuff that I'm hoping that they'll take care of whenever they get around to like updating the entire platform.
Christine says, I did back, lol.
Well, thank you, Christine.
Nice. Thank you, Christine. Oh no, they changed it. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Not My Monkey says, I may have lost it, but the promo art and colors reminds me of Toulouse-Lautrec.
Wow. That's high praise. Thank you.
Wow. They opened the comments to non-backers too a couple of weeks ago. What?
Uh-oh.
Holy crap. That's kind of stupid. I mean,
a little bit.
Early on when I was an early backer, I mean, earlier in ComicsGate, meaning into 2019, I was kind of pissed that I couldn't add any comments so I could ask questions of the creator before I backed it.
Sure.
But now that I had it as my workaround for finding it, I started to like it, like that you had to be a backer to comment. But now if they open it up, that's irritating.
Yeah, and I that's coming back to me. I think there's a way for creators to turn that off. I'd have to do research, because if there is, like, I would definitely like to turn that off.
Oh man. Now you can comment without.
Yep.
No idea why they opened up the comments as I used to check that way too.
Right.
Well, so much for my workaround. I'm so out of it. I didn't realize that I didn't realize they opened it up. Man. Yep, I think that's a big mistake. No idea why they did it. And it only opens up comments for salty non-backers, in my opinion. Yeah, that's a good reason.
Yeah, that's like, and yeah, it's all coming back to me now. I remember all this stuff. Like, yeah, that's what didn't make sense to me when they first announced it. I'm like, so what you're saying is, especially for like CG people, what you're saying is like a whole bunch of people who don't back and don't support CG and kind of actively protest it can like write into whatever campaign they want.
Man, that's bad. They should have opened up the question option, not the comments. Yeah.
Definitely.
That would have made more sense. Mind you, Mitch Brettweiser might be pleased.
Right.
Oh, man. Dang it. All right. So I guess I'll have to trudge through the old-fashioned way again.
Yeah, it's looking that way for both of us, man.
Boy. Excuse me. In terms of stretch goals, you hit the Gray Devil sticker by 6 a.m. Comics. Huzzah.
Yeah, so people are going to be getting that. And yeah, like I was saying, the biggest one that I'm trying to hit is that Peter Gilmore stretch goal at 14K. If we can land that, he'll be doing a 4-page epilogue starring Myra Block, as seen here. She's the femme fatale of the book. Like I always say, she's more thorn than rose. Yeah, I especially now that like we're into the later parts of the book, me and Raphael, like I'm having a lot of fun with Myra and seeing how he depicts her. It's been cool.
Nice. Yeah, so at 10K, you gave Raphael a bonus in pay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Raphael, this is one of the first times like we've opened up like a pay scale upgrade for the artist, because Raphael's been doing a lot of heavy lifting on this book. And because when you're dealing with something like the superhero genre, it's usually going to be set in modern society, and so like you just have to worry about cityscapes and stuff. But with this, like, he really did have to research a lot of Western stuff. He had to research spaghetti Westerns. He had to get the look and feel of the fashion down. There was a lot of stuff on the development end of things that I was like, okay, like you should have a pay bonus for all the work that you're doing.
Right on. Yeah, yeah, and the fact that he took the time to research means he cares about the project and cares about its success and doing a good job.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bonus free second sticker featuring Myra Block by Peter Gilmore.
Yeah, yeah, that's how this whole ball got rolling. Like I know there are a couple of campaigns that open up pay bonuses for artists, and I always appreciate seeing that because I know it's a good payday for the artist. But at the same time, I feel like if you're going to hit a stretch goal, the audience, the readers, should get something for hitting that stretch goal. And yeah, like just without even asking him, Peter one day was like, "Hey, I just felt like doodling, and I ended up drawing your character." And I was like, "Can I use this as a sticker?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can." And from there, I was like, "Why don't you just do a backup story if we hit 14?" He was like, "All right."
He's a cool guy.
He is. He is.
And then you hit the 12K mark. Jacob Block family portrait by Entertainment Madness.
Yeah. So again, this was one of those things where E.T. Madness just kind of reached out to me out of nowhere and produced this amazing portrait of the patriarch of the Block family. And man, like I don't know that we're gonna get there, but I always envisioned at like 18 or 20K, like maybe after we cleared the badge bonus, like I would commission him to just do a whole line of all of them as family portraits. I don't know, maybe for book 2.
Yeah, if you don't get to making physical like pin badges, you could always do a sticker that looks like a badge.
Yeah, I had that thought too. Yeah, we'll see. Again, like I'm hopeful because you know how CG does. Like I'm hopeful that in those last couple days there'll be like a swell of interest, and maybe we maybe we can clear 14K, and we'll figure stuff out from there.
Yep, for sure. Let me see here. Not My Monkey says just open trolls, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
He agrees. Not My Monkeys kind of thinks of Indiegogo as a club.
Yeah, I get that.
If you're not a backer, I don't think you should comment. I think that makes sense.
I agree.
Christine says, "Oh, sorry, was checking contributions. What was the name of the campaign to sign up to?"
Oh, the Red Key Undercover.
The Red Key Undercover. Yeah, drop that link again if you would, mods. And then I'll drop Deepwell again. And let me see. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's a duet.
Yeah, that's weird. That's going to come up a third time. I was just singing that to Clark when I was trying to get him put down for a nap.
All right. Christine says, "Thank you, Mike."
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
The next goal we're shooting for is 14K, which is the additional 4-page Myra Block epilogue drawn by Peter Gilmore.
Yes, it is.
Sweet.
And one, because I gave this away on the last stream that I was on with Stefani. One teaser / spoiler that I can give away regarding the Red Key, if that'll get anyone out there interested in signing up, is so the point of the Red Key as a book, not the story, but the book is to start the building blocks for my shared universe, like the Murphyverse, I guess. And it's not like, don't think of it in terms like the MCU. Like this isn't like the end of Red Key isn't going to be Sam Jackson walking in and asking him to join the Avengers. Like it's not anything like that. It's more It's more like how Stephen King handles his work, like where there are these like loose threads that kind of like bleed over into each other here and there, and like characters have the same last names or come from the same families and stuff like that. So the red key itself, his the backup for his powers that's on his belt, that key is constructed from red iron, from the one reality where there's red iron. And we are looking at the campaign where that iron exists. Because of the Grey Devil's revolvers.
Very nice.
So yeah, like this isn't, it's not building up to like one giant crossover or anything, but people have been asking for a while, like if these books like kind of coexist, and the red key is the start of me answering that.
Oh, okay, all right. Welcome, Jimmy Reyes Art. Hola, mates.
Hey, hola.
Hola. Let's play the trailer again. Deepwell, Caliber of Death. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's been a great ride with this book. I've had a lot of fun with it.
Fantastic. So checking out the perks again, the book prequel plus swag.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bunch of goodies in here, don't you?
Yeah, a fair amount of stuff. So you'd be getting the dime store novel, which you can also get if you in the perk further down if you just want the book and the prequel. You'll be getting the map of Deepwell. You'll be getting the character design trading cards. That should be a set of 7. You'll be getting a print of Myra Block and a print of the Grey Devil by Vinny and John, respectively. So yeah, like it's a decent amount of stuff to come along with the 2 books themselves.
And what the prints? How what are the dimensions on them?
They're probably going to be a little bit larger than the size of a comic. We're actually figuring that stuff out next week as we start getting into pre-press on the bonuses. I'd like it to be large, but that might require folding it, and I know people don't like folding, so we'll see. But right in this moment, I don't have a specific measurement.
Do you already know what type of packaging you're using? For example, are you going the Gemini mailer route, or are you going an alternative method?
Always Gemini. All of our campaigns have been and will be through Gemini mailers.
Nice. Jimmy Reyes says, cool looking book.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Welcome, Hex Island Comics.
Hey, Hex.
Weasel. Homies. Oh, ease. Yes. That was great. And do you say 7 trading cards or skip? What are they? How did you?
Yeah, like basically, while we were designing the book, Raphael did, a whole line of the Block family during the character design phase, and so we'll be shrinking those down to trading card size, and those will be going out to backers. I haven't decided if they're going to be full color or black and white because there is 7, so that's going to increase the price of like the trading card run. But if I can manage it in full color, they'll be in full color. We'll see.
And have you decided what's going to be on the backside? Are you going to include a little bit of character description or?
Yeah, it might. So with the Gods Fear Me, and definitely with the Red Key, there's going to be like stat info. But for Deepwell, we might do a little bit of lore building, like just some flavor text for each character.
Gotcha. Yeah, because otherwise, if it were close to like a traditional Western, it might be. Well, I guess you could do strength, intellect.
You could, but no, it's going to be flavor text.
Yeah. Gotcha. And I know you haven't started work on the map yet, but do you know yet what the size of the map will be?
That's probably going to be somewhere around like 10 inches by 12 inches. I did a rough thumbnail of it just to give Raphael an idea of what he'd be doing, and also like where locations relate to each other when he's drawing the book. So I kind of have it roughly pictured in my head.
All right, cool. And you've also been thinking about what kind of material to put it on?
Yeah, right now I don't know if it's just going to be like a standard print. I know Shay has offered to like kind of actually make it look like a map, like do burnt edges and stuff like that. So I need to talk to her a little bit more and see if we can still make something like that happen.
Has she had a chance to convince you to make patches?
Yeah, that was the other idea for the badge, like do the badge as a patch.
Yeah.
So I would definitely like to do badges or I should say patches, for the Red Key and future campaigns, but I don't know if we're gonna make the cutoff for this one.
Gotcha. Now, Hex Allen says ni hao. I think he's speaking Chinese. And I think ni hao is hello. Then you got the single physical copy. Makes sense. Oh, by the way, that swag bag is a freaking hell of a deal.
Thank you. Yeah. Like we're always going to try to keep our swag bag at $50. The first 2 swag bags that we did with Samurai and Dinosaur and Gods Fear Me were $40, but with the amount of content that we bumped this swag bag up to, I feel it justifies the extra money.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we're not planning on going higher than 50 with other campaigns down the road.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. Then you got the Preston Acevedo alt cover, physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the digital book in the prequel.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, 2 physical copies. Sweet. Then you got 2 covers of the physical copy, the Preston Acevedo alternate cover.
Right. Then you got 1 of each.
And then you get the mail-in exclusive.
Yep.
Nice.
So this is it. Like I was saying at the start of the show, for anyone out there, this is kind of your one and only chance to get the cover. Thankfully, like a lot of people who already backed the campaign wrote in and requested the secret link to get it for no additional shipping. So we've had a lot of people who signed up to the campaign previously double down and pick up the mail-in cover, which I'm grateful for.
The if you don't have the secret link, are a number of these products available as add-ons?
Yeah, everything's available as an add-on, including the mail-in cover. And I put out an update when we launched the mail-in cover. If you've backed the campaign and you're interested in it but don't want to have to pay a separate shipping fee, just drop me a line and I'll get a link to you so that you can get it with no additional shipping.
Nice. Oh, shoot. I accidentally jumped down there. Hex Island Comics. Yes, I got the sack. Nice. Pick up the highly anticipated Deepwell, the Caliber of Death.
Please do. Thank you, Hex.
Thanks for dropping links, mods. Appreciate it. Yeah. Then you got the book, the prequel.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you just want the entire story but aren't like a particular fan of like swag items, this is where you can go for the whole thing.
Then you got the support the troops.
Yep.
Tier. That's pretty neat.
Yep. 2 to you, 3 to the troops. It's probably not going to be through Operation Paperback because they have weird issues with mature content.
Really?
Yeah, it's a thing.
But you what? What? Don't you have to be a legal adult to join the military?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I just like, if we're being frank, they got an issue. They got an issue with boobies, and there are lots of boobies in this book.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's
So
like the first thing troops need.
I know.
Jeez.
I know. Like, out of all the books that we've done, this is like the best thing for someone that's in the armed forces.
Oh my gosh! What the hey? Oh.
Yeah, but I'll still figure out a way to get it to them. It's just probably not going to be through Operation Paperback.
Right. Man, we gotta get support our troops with boobies.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta keep them afloat. Let's see here. So, out of curiosity, let me see. Have you had any interest whatsoever in like retail tiers?
We did one with The Gods Fear Me, and only one person took us up on that. And my understanding is that person isn't even a retail person. They're just a big collector and wanted 10 copies.
Yeah, that's pretty possible. That's
yeah.
possible because I myself occasionally even, if it looks like a sweet enough deal, then I'll sometimes grab one of those multiple
right.
like retail pack things.
Right. So, again, I'm open to having to helping out retailers, and both with Gods Fear Me and Deepwell, like I sent out emails to like every comic shop that I could get my hands on in terms of contact info. But if they don't take you up on it, and if there's no real interest in the tier, like I'm not going to use that tier on something that no one's going to buy. I'm going to try to plug something in there that interests people.
Yeah, makes sense.
But again, like I'm all for working with retailers. It's just Diamond that I have an issue with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Then you get the swag bag and an Eric's sketch card.
Yeah, and there's just one left of that tier.
Holy cow. Those are good looking. Are you allowed to say which ones have been scooped up already, or is it going to be randomized?
No, I made it clear that it's going to be randomized. Like with what we did with Gods Fear Me, I knew that fulfillment was going to be far enough out that trying to keep track of who wanted what specific card was going to be impossible. Like X number of months later when I have like all this other stuff in my head. So what I said is like, look, it's going to be randomized, but if you really, really, really want a specific card, write in, and I'll try to get that one to you. And I've only had like on the Gods Fear Me, there were only like 2 or 3 people that like wrote in and said, if I could get this one, could I get it? Everyone else seems to be okay with the randomization of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's one I really like here, but they're all good, so I'd be happy with any of them.
Yeah, you know, with Deepwell, I could have just reached out to the same people that did card art for us on The Gods Fear Me, but I don't know, like, you know, like Eric was in the middle of Battle Brick Road, and you know, I was looking over his pages one night and how he really leans into the like realistic military thing, you know, especially with like Flying Fortress.
Yeah.
And just something clicked in my head. I'm like, you know what? No one really hires Eric to do like sketch tiers. And I reached out to him and he was down for it.
Eric Withers, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you could still edit it or if it's too late, but it might help push this tier to close out if you had his last name in here.
I know, like I really tried. Like I could maybe edit something and just have it say Eric W. But like, yeah, like those character limits are really strict.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard crazy stuff about these character limits. Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
You get the swag bag plus the sketch card. So it's kind of like paying, what is it, 60? Does it come out to 60? The swag is 50.
Yeah.
So you're kind of paying like $60 for the sketch card.
Mm-hmm.
Still quite reasonable. Then we've got the Drogos Blanco special.
Yeah, so I mean, look, for any of the backers out there that may or may not be listening, like this is the one tier that I'm hoping that we can sell before the campaign closes, and it'll pretty much ensure that we hit that 14K stretch goal with Peter Gilmore. You know, as we did with The Gods Fear Me, this is our $872 tier, and it's not gratuitous. Like you get your money's worth. To start off with, you get everything from the campaign. Like if it's listed above this tier, you get it. Except for the Eric Weathers card, I should specify. But everything else you get. You also get a copy of the Malin alt cover. You'll be getting a proof copy of Deepwell, of which there will only be 5 total. You'll get an original 11x17 illustration drawn by me and painted by Selena Hernandez, my wife and co-publisher of Chibi Comics. And the biggest thing is you're going to be getting the final page of Deepwell hand-drawn and sent to you by Raphael himself.
So sweet. So sweet. Yeah. I guess I'm going to have to find a way to get a couple more jobs. Oh, geez. Christine says, I don't blame you, Mike. I was shocked to learn how much time it took as a cut from each book. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is quite insane.
Again, like the whole point of what we're building here with CG and the indie scene is to kind of get away from some of those business practices. And again, I know some people that, are detractors of CG, like go after the whole thing of how we don't support comic shops. I just said like 10 minutes ago, like I'm more than happy to work with comic shops on an individual basis.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, some of my good friends run and own comic book stores. I don't want to see them fail. I want to help them as much as I can. And conceptually, I love the idea of comic shops and think that they're something that should be preserved, and they're definitely, since, post SJW invasion of the industry and post-COVID, comic shops are definitely some of the businesses most at risk right now. And there have already been so many that have closed.
I know, that's it's just sad.
It is, man. It is. I hate seeing it.
Me too.
Like some of my formative memories are of comic shops. Some of my biggest accomplishes professionally involve comic shops, like, working every year at FCBD doing sketches and stuff for kids. Like, I love the idea of comic shops. So whenever someone starts up with that argument, I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about, because I have a feeling most of us in CG feel that way about comic shops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of trying to do my little part of it as well, in my little way of supporting my local comic shop by going to him more often than I had in the past, and actually buying back issues, from the long because, I'm not happy with I'm not happy with most of everything that has been coming out as of late from the big.
Right.
So it's like, forget you. I'm going with. Well, actually, my not so secret plan is to try and find back issues of books that were created by ComicsGate people.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Because I mean, the more and more success they achieve through ComicsGate, the more their back issues are going to be worth something.
Sure.
So I do that, and I also try and pick up T-shirts when I can, and whatever cool stickers they might have.
Sure.
And my LCS's wife, well, I guess the owner is the husband, but his wife takes like old, I guess, quote unquote, worthless comics or those in bad shape and turns them into art, like pendants or designs on rocks or paperweights or prints and things like that, collages and stuff like that. Refrigerator magnets, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So that's like kind of one of their other forms of income.
Okay, cool.
So that's pretty neat stuff. Excuse me. Christine says Eric Weather's a really great artist. I have to agree.
He is.
I'm really digging Battle Brick Road, and I'm so excited for it too.
Yeah, like he's one of those artists. Like there's a few artists in CG that I constantly go on about how, like, watching the evolution of their art style, it's amazing seeing them come into their own as illustrators. Like you look at Flying Fortress, and then you compare that to some of the preview pages for Battle Brick Road, and it's like, dude, you're just growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, his stuff is good. I got Flying Fortress Battle Damaged, and I backed Battle Brick Road. So good stuff coming down the pipeline.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Ryan Cardinal. How's it going?
Hey, Ryan.
Diamond is the mafia of distribution.
It's very true, man. I mean, like I said last summer when they were doing those streams with what's his name? That guy that's always going after Ethan, the bald dude, Dan Shahane.
Dan Shahane, yeah.
Yeah, when the head of Diamond, I'm blanking on his name, but the older guy, when he went on Shahane's show like 2 days in a row to talk to the retailers and then to talk to some of the publishers about like life in the pandemic, that episode that he did with the publishers where he was just totally talking down to them, showing them no respect, and like his family, like his wife and his son were in the chats like super chatting $100 just to like show who was in charge. Yeah, like if Shahane still has those podcasts, those streams listed on his channel, you should go back and check them out, because like 2 or 3 times over, his wife and his son like send in these stupid super chats that are just like, we love comics. Like there's no purpose to them other than to show, hey, we're the ones still holding the purse strings.
Oh, jeez.
That was the moment for me where, you know, obviously I had already committed Chibi Comics to ComicsGate and the model that we have set up. But if there was a moment that solidified my feelings on stepping away from the mainstream, like that was definitely it. I was like, I want nothing to do with you on a professional or personal level.
Wow. That's a weird flex.
Yeah.
Christine says most creators are happy to do a retailer tier, but like you said, many are wary because of the stupidity coming from the loudmouths in the SJW brigade.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally get it. You know, we have a friend who owns a shop here in Portland, and you know, she, whenever we stop in, she doesn't shy away from bringing up CG stuff, even though there's obviously like tons of SJW types in Portland, and most of them, a lot of them are usually in her store. She doesn't shy away from it just because I think she has this don't give a damn attitude of like, it's my store, I'll say whatever I want.
Wow, that's courageous.
Yeah, but you know, there's a ton of both like creative types and, you know, store owner types who like, they do the thing of like saddling up next to you and just trying to talk about it really quiet, like, hey, so like what's going on? How have things been going? And you know what they're insinuating.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like, things are going really good. You should come over to the deep end. It's great. Like,
oh my goodness gracious. Oh, jeez. Let's see here. Sign up for the Red Key. Yeah, that's the early sign up for his next project, the Red Key.
excellent. Thanks again, Notam.
Stefani Renee.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, me and Stefani are gonna start getting into like heavy world building and character design stuff at the start of April, and I'm hoping, because he already has the 2 pieces of promo art done, but I'm hoping that he'll be able to knock out 2 pages at least of sequentials that we can have up to kind of give a sense for what the book will be like. And like I said, that's probably going to take us till the end of April, beginning of May, and then, you know, we'll get the campaign up and running.
Nice. Good stuff. And I always like when campaigns have the grayed out sold tiers.
Yep, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah. Also, it I don't know. Maybe it's glutton for punishment. Sometimes it's just a constant reminder of what I missed out on.
Yeah, I get you.
But it's still fun to look at because it also is a sign that says, hey, now you know what you're missing out on, and now you know not to dilly-dally or sit on the fence. Otherwise, these other people are going to scoop it up before you.
Yeah, you know, like I think the biggest example of that, you know, when we launched the Red Key, anyone out there that is interested in owning some of Preston's original artwork, whenever we list his original artwork on these campaigns, they sell within like 3 or 4 hours every time. So if you're interested, and you know what the launch date of Red Key is going to be, which we'll announce as we get closer to it. As soon as you see that tier up for his original art, jump on it, because it always goes like so quick.
Yeah, his sells real fast. Excuse me. So you had a drawn into the book tier, drawn Deepwell. 4 out of 4 claimed. Were they drawn into this issue, or are they being drawn into the next issue?
No, they're being drawn into this issue. Right now, Raphael's actually working on the first 2 cameos. The second 2 come towards the very end of the book, and we actually we made a deal off site to include a 5th person to be drawn in, and they're going to be in a very special part of the book that I don't want to spoil yet. So
all right.
Yeah, and I only made an exception because they're a really good friend.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't make him suffer by saying, "Hey, you sneeze, you lose."
No. So I this person usually backs drawn in tiers, and they just missed it for whatever reason.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
I always make sure to take care of them. Like they're a really good person, and
nice.
Yeah, like they have an amazing spot in God's Fear Me, and they have a funny kind of uncomfortable spot in Deepwell that I think they're going to get a kick out of.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then we got, last but not least, the Preston Acevedo alt cover original art.
Yep. And yeah, sure enough, man. Like, I think it wasn't even like 3 or 4 hours. It was an hour and a half after I posted that we got the notification that it sold. I was like, geez Louise.
Yeah, I know. Have you considered, or have you already been steadily increasing the price of the original cover art?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is stuff like that. Me and Preston are in constant communication about.
Okay. All right. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have no doubt within like the next like 2 years at most, like Preston is going to be one of the most in demand artists for CG in terms of like buying original art.
Oh, easily. My goodness, he does such good stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
Let's see here, and yeah. I think, I could be wrong, but I think was this one of those cases where it sold within the first few hours of the campaign going live?
Not when the campaign went live. We didn't have Preston locked down for, I think, like the first somewhere between week 3 and week 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as we did post it, like it was gone.
Yeah, because I think it was already gone before I could have you on my show.
yeah, that's possible, man.
Yeah, it was already sold out that early. Oh my gosh. But, for good reason. It's a damn good piece of work.
It really is, man. And people have asked, like, like, are all these covers going to be black and white? And I think they are. There's something about his work in black and white that always seems to complement the full color main cover really well. I like the juxtaposition of the two of them side by side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good idea. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for dropping the links, mods. Appreciate it. Sign up for the red key.
Yeah, thanks so much, everybody.
Ryan Cardinal says the CG model is the way to go. Build up your fan base over time, make a solid product, and deliver. Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Deliver, fulfillment. You got to get that product out. There are things in CG that nobody else is really doing. The live streams alone are great for exposure. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about that. I am in total agreement with you there. Let's catch this trailer.
Let's do it.
Excuse me. Cool stuff.
Yeah, buddy.
At the very end, there was a wanted poster. Weren't you in the thinking of making a wanted poster at one point?
Yeah, that is actually the wanted poster. So our early sign up for Deepwell was you get a print of that wanted poster. So everyone that was on the sign up list is going to be getting that in addition to whatever tier they backed.
Freaking awesome. Fantastic. Fire. That's hot.
Thanks,
That's hot.
Yotam.
That's hot. Fantastic. Was there by chance any, I guess I should have asked this earlier, was there by chance any additional pieces? Like, what the frick? Huh? This is the first time this is weird. This is the first time I've ever seen this happen. Oh, it's gone. Excuse me. Oh man, the weirdest thing happened. So I use StreamYards so I can broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch simultaneously.
Right.
And in the upper left corner, it's got how long, your timer as to how long you've been streaming.
Right.
And then how many people are watching, followed by how many likes you got on Facebook. Well, right after the timer that is incrementing how long you've been streaming, the little Wi-Fi logo popped up.
That's odd.
And I'm not even on Wi-Fi. I'm connected on my desktop, hardwired.
Yeah, yeah.
Router. That was funny. And when I moused over it, it said something to the effect, your connection is okay.
Weird. That's weird, man.
Very.
So was there any what now?
Was there anything else you wanted to share about the campaign, or any I don't know, concept sketches or anything like non-spoilery? I know you're planning on releasing what sounds like is it going to be 8 pages of sequentials?
Yeah, like I'm looking through the folder right now, and we have about enough that I could show somewhere in the neighborhood of like 8 pages, since our last update. The black and white pages on the main page are the last sequentials that we showed off in the updates.
Nice.
And we've got way more art since then. So I might be able to show up somewhere between like 5 and 8 pages of new content.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that Monday, Tuesday-ish.
All right. Fantastic.
And that's about it for Deepwell. Can't show anything else on God's Fear Me. The last update that we did before we closed the campaign, I showed like 3 really small sections of panels because it was from the very last page.
Oh, you tease.
Yeah. So that's gonna, man, I'm so close to being able to at least do digital fulfillment on God's Fear Me, and I can't wait to start hearing what people think of that book.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, like I'm hoping call it within the next like 2 to 3 weeks, I'm hoping we can start talking about like digital fulfillment while we do like the pre-press work. And then yeah, as soon as the pre-press work is done, that thing is off to print. And yeah, whenever the printer gets it back to me, we'll start fulfillment.
Nice. Yeah. The beauty of fulfillment is once people start getting the books in their hands,
Right.
then they can start reviewing it, and the reviews alone will bump up the sales of the campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like it's free publicity, but like the larger thing is like you know, assuming people enjoy it, I really like seeing people like dive into the work and like
Yeah.
getting that like positive feedback of like, oh my God, this is great, which I hope it's great. I mean, some people may hate it, but I'm pretty confident in like all three of these books, like God's Fear Me, Deepwell, The Red Key. Like that thing that I always say, like, you know, if it isn't something that if you saw on the shelf and you had nothing to do with it, like, you know, if you wouldn't spend your money on it, don't ask other people to. Like, these are three books that if I had nothing to do with, like, I would totally pick up completely separate from me. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in them, and yeah, God's Fear Me is up first. Can't wait to hear back from people about that. Deepwell will be summer, and late April, early May will be coming out the gate hard with the Red Key.
Sweet. Excuse me. So you're at 12,919, almost 13,000, and then 14,000 is the stretch goal to get that Peter Gilmore piece.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we can clear that last $80 this weekend, and then I can just focus the first 10 days of March on hitting that 1K mark.
Yeah, additional 4-page Myro blog epilogue drawn by Peter Gilmore. Heck yeah. And with respect to Deepwell, how many books do you envision this being for the whole storyline?
All of our books through the Red Key are going to be 3 volumes each. And I've said this before about Deepwell. So it's not too much of a spoiler. There's there's room conceptually once we finish these 3 volumes to explore the world more if people are up for it. And I'm considering launching at some point. This would be like at least 3 years from now once the main thing is done. I'm considering launching Deepwell 1975. One thing that I really like in fiction is I like seeing how a world evolves. You know, it's kind of like the difference between Star Trek and TNG, right?
Okay.
Like I like seeing the progression of time and like how relationships culturally change and evolve and how technology change and evolves. And I really like the idea of seeing what the region of Deepwell would look like somewhere close to 100 years into the future. And that lines almost perfectly up with the whole blaxploitation phase in cinema. So, you know, just imagine like a blaxploitation / Western gritty epic set in Deepwell, starring a completely new vigilante.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, so the original Deepwell has the Gray Devil. Deepwell 1975 would probably star the Black Angel.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Well,
but ideally that would be my dream.
Cool. All right. I think it's time to wrap things up for the night.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Thanks again for having me on.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you the floor here.
Okay.
Would you share with the world how you can be found on social media?
You got it. So you can find me online at chibi_Mike on Twitter. You can also find me on TikTok at chibi_Mike. I've been doing a lot of cool film reviews and promotion stuff over there. It's been kind of a weird, interesting platform to get used to.
Oh, neat.
You can also find me right here on YouTube at the Chibi Mike, all one word. I'm doing a playthrough of Ghost of Tsushima called Samurai Minus Dinosaurs. And I try to, at least once every like 2 weeks or so, I try to do a promotional show called CG One-on-One, where it's just kind of a loose conversational show with a CG creator and me just kind of talking shop.
Nice. That's really cool. Out of curiosity, your TikTok.
Yeah.
Are you gaining a large following?
TikTok is a really weird platform, man. So what I've noticed is I did notice like an extra backer or two since I started doing advertising on there. But it's weird. Like, how to describe it? My viewership is really high. Like, I can get somewhere between like 160 to like 550 views on a video.
Oh man.
But I only have like 5 people actively following me. It's weird. It doesn't feel anything like Twitter or even Facebook, where like if someone's interested in you, they follow you. It's just somehow people kind of fall onto your videos, and that really drives your viewership up. But actually building a following on the platform is difficult.
Yeah, you get a lot of eyeballs for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I think, let me see. I tend to watch like little Snapchat videos and TikTok videos, and I think people are now uploading their TikTok videos to Instagram or something like that, or to Snapchat.
Yeah, you can upload them anywhere. Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, and it's like, wow. They're such short videos, it's like perfectly catered to short attention span people.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. Like the more that I've used the platform, I definitely find myself like in line somewhere or whatever, just kind of scrolling through like half a dozen of them.
Yeah, I know. It's so easy to do. You gotta get sucked into it.
Uh-oh. Hang on one second. I'm getting the help out with the baby signal.
All right. Oh, you know what? I was wondering. Ew.
Oh, hey man, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jet. Like something's popped up.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man.
Good stream.
Yeah, likewise, and thanks so much for having me on, and thanks everyone for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, awesome! Thank you for being here. Thanks to everyone. You can drop by anytime. I'm just going to close out. Blah, blah, blah. Don't forget, back Deepwell, the caliber of death. Let's get that to 14,000. Get it to that stretch goal. Put Peter Gilmore to work, and we are almost there. 881, 1081, and we're there. Thanks to everyone who joined us in chat. You guys are so freaking awesome. Thanks to everyone who watches this on replay. And thanks to our very special guest, Mike Murphy. Later, everybody. Take it easy, all. Bye.
Final guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing? Welcome to the show.